Hello friends, Kao here, and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just wanted to say that I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season and that the new year has been treating you well so far. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to do a video tour of my current Pokemon collection as it stands at the end of 2023. I thought this would be a fun way to kind of showcase my collection, but also to have something to look back on like around this time next year and kind of compare and see how much my collection has grown since then. Now, before we jump into the collection itself, I did want to mention a couple of things really quickly, just to give y'all a better idea of what to expect with this video. It will probably be a little bit on the longer side, just to kind of go through everything, because of course I'm gonna want to talk about stuff, not just flip through pages and binders. So while I do have a handful of cards from my childhood, I only got back into collecting Pokemon cards fairly recently with Paldea Evolved, so you're not going to see a ton of older stuff. I do have a handful of vintage things, but there's a pretty big gap, and I've only kind of sort of recently started picking up more things from like Sword and Shield era cards and stuff like that. I also don't collect any graded cards, so you're not going to see any slabs today, and I'm not going to go through a ton of bulk. I will say there are a few cards that are bulk just because I like to collect certain Pokemon, or I just like the art, so you will see some stuff, but I'm not going to go through like every bulk card that I have. That would just take too long. I'm also not going to share things that are currently in decks, so like I have some like Giratinas in my Giratina deck, some Hisuian Zoroarks in another deck, so none of that's going to be in the binders today unless I happen to have like extras. Alright, with all that out of the way, I think it's time to go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at the 2023 collection. First up, we have a couple of favorite cards that I like to have displayed in my office. So we have the Pikachu with gray felt hat from the Van Gogh collaboration. It's kind of hard to show with the glare, but I still can't believe I own this card. So definitely a good one to display. Then we have this Japanese fossil Gengar, Hollow Gengar. This was one of my first bigger pickups. Still love this little guy. Look at that face. And then continuing on the Gengars, my most recent pickup is the Gengar VMAX Alt Art. This thing is so gorgeous. This was one of my most recent pickups, and I am so happy I was able to add it to my collection. So it's definitely a good one to display. And all of these, I like to have them in these Ultimate Guard card cases. They're UV protectant, and they have little magnetic closures, so it's easy to put the cards in, swap them out if I need to, and I hope I can get some more because I have other cards I want to display as well. So the Pokeball binder here has a lot of my full art cards, as well as like VMAX, V-Star, and EX cards. So the first page here is a little bit of a mishmash. So we've got the first big pull I had, which is the Iono alt art. We have a few of the like rare cards from my childhood set, which are the Charizard here from one of the e-reader series, and the Shining Mewtwo. Then we've got, from my Japanese 151 pulls, I got a Master Ball variant, Machop. And then we have the full EVA line for the Pidgey full arts, which I really love this style, they're really fun. And you'll notice a lot of like blank pages throughout. I recently reorganized my binders because I was running out of room, so now I have lots more room for even more cards to add to the collection. But over here we have the Scarlet and Violet starters. They have all their full arts, so we've got the Sprigatito line complete, missing the middle evolution for the Fuecoco line, and then we've got the full Quaxley line at the bottom here. And then we kind of just get into a random assortment of full arts. So I've got the little Ralts one here, like growing up. I've got some, move it down a little bit, spaces here for the other two cards in that Evo line, and then just a couple of random ones from Scarlet and Violet, and Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift. We've got the little Sneaky Swablu here, Angry Charmander, Drunk Lechonk, Sleepy Coridon. Of course, I gotta have my cloth. And then a few more from Paradox Rift. Move this down a little bit. The Cyclizer Crustle, and of course the Screamtail promo. And plenty of open space for more stuff. Then over here I've kind of got the Hisuian like full arts that I've gotten so far. I kind of wanted to have them separated just because I really like them, but plenty more room to add to. I've actually got multiple copies of Spiritomb, so you'll see this one again. And then we go into kind of these are all Sword and Shield, like Trainer Gallery and Galarian Gallery cards. They're all very cute. I really love that they did all these, especially like the Trainer Galleries. This Mightyena is very excited about food. It's so cute. And then the full art trainers themselves. So we've got the recent Rika Pole, Parasol Lady, Gita, got an extra Gita. I love this Arven art. It actually goes with the what is it, Mabasif? I forget how to say it, but they kind of go together. He's waiting on sandwiches. And some more full art trainers over here. And I really like that they did these for some of the Sword and Shield gym leaders. They have like their signature, which was pretty cool. This is probably my least favorite one, though. Then we get into some of the VGX. I have one GX, which is a Japanese tag team card with the 3 legendary birds. I actually won this in a giveaway, and it was like just a really cool, really beautiful art. Obviously very nostalgic for the trio of birds. And then I believe if y'all watched one of my videos, you should have seen the Unknown V-Star poll. That was a really cool one. And then a few EX cards as well. I like the Paldean Clodsire. And then a few V-Stars. Leaving lots more room, because I learned my lesson last time. This binder was pretty much full, and I had just been putting things in like just one by one. But now I wanted to kind of have it more organized, so it looks like a lot of space, but it's just more room to add more cards. Then we've got more EX cards here. More Skeledurges and Paldean Clodsires. And more on this side as well. We've got our Cloth, EX Mousehold, and of course our little penguin friend down there. And this is kind of just like a random page where I put some of my first gold card pulls. I have an extra Florigato, and pulled from this reverse hollow Kyogre, so just kind of like a random assortment on this page. And then there's plenty of room for more. That's all for this binder, but lots more room, I can't talk, for more cards. Like I said, this binder was pretty much full before. Now I've kind of reorganized things and I have a lot more space in this one for all of the full arts. Next up is my favorites binder. So this is mostly ghost Pokemon and then an assortment of other favorite Pokemon like Rowlet and others. This is the most filled binder, so there's some empty space, but not a ton. Just trying to make some room for more Pokemon, obviously. Eventually, this binder will have to become probably only ghost Pokemon, but for now, it's a mix of things, starting with my number one, which is Chandelure. So we've got a handful of Litwick, Lampent, and Chandelure cards. Somehow missing a Lampent. I didn't pull a single one from Obsidian Flames, which seems weird. And then we've got continued there. I've got some of the Halloween stamped ones. And then I've got a random VMAX I picked up recently, which I really like this art. It's very cool. And then we get into the Gengar line. There's a lot of them. So I've got some more Halloween stamped ones. I've got some vintage stuff in here. I've got this cool Sabrina's Gengar. I think I've shown some of these in various videos. There are a lot of Gengar cards, but I also love Ghastly and Haunter, so those are always fun to pick up. Just don't see them as often as Gengar. I love the e-reader ones down here at the bottom. These are just like really fun art. And then we've got the full art Gengar. He's just a little cutie. And more of them. So again, I've got the Halloween stamped versions, and then the regular versions, and then we've got the 151 line here with the Komiya art down there. And then I also shared these in a recent video, so I won't pull any of them out, but I'll put a link if you want to check them out, a closer look. But we've got Gengar V, VMAX, and this cool EX one. Then we go into Mimikyu and the Sinistee line. So as you can see, I've already basically run out of room, so I'm gonna have to keep moving things around still, but we've got some pretty fun cards. These are some of my favorite Pokemon. I especially love this Mimikyu card. Just like looking at the like little Pikachu can out of the vending machine. It's very cute. And of course we've got the full art Mimikyu watching horror movies. I just really like this one. Very cute. And for the Sinistee and Poltegeist, I recently picked up these two, which are the shiny versions, which I didn't realize that the teacup was pink, and I love that. It's very cute. I'm really curious if we're gonna see the latest Pokemon, the like matcha version. Those will be some fun cards to pick up and add as well. Then we go into more ghost Pokemon. So we've got the Fusion Strike, the Fusion Strike line for Dreepy. I really like this art. I love this Dreepy especially, it's very cute. And we've got a couple of Spiritombs down here at the bottom. I have so many of this one because it's in standard right now, and I just keep pulling them. And there's that duplicate Spiritomb. I try to put, if I have any full arts of Pokemon, like ghost Pokemon or Pokemon I like, that are like separated. I try to put them in here, otherwise they go in the other binder. Then we've got the Misdreavus line, so we've got some more Halloween stamped ones, and this gorgeous card. The Miss Magius. This makes me think of like a tarot card style. Very pretty. And continuing on, we've got the Pumpkaboo and Gorgeist line, including the latest versions from Paradox Rift. And we've got some Hisuian Zorua and Zoro arcs here, including my gold one down here. I actually do have more Zoro art cards, Hisuian Zoro art cards, but they're in a deck right now, so they won't be in here. And then we've got the Duskull line as well. These are mostly Halloween stamped ones. I haven't really pulled too many of this line outside of Halloween cards. And we get a little bit of a color change with Phantump and Trevenant. So again, a bunch of Halloween cards. We've got my favorite Vibin Phantump over here, and then a random Delmise because he kind of completes the green. And we've got the Ghost Puppy Dog. We've got Grievard and Houndstone. Some really fun ones over here. This is one of my favorite cards. The full art Grievard. He's got little ghost pillows and toys. It's super cute. Every time I look at it, I feel like I see something new in the background. And then we've got Drifloon and Drifblim, which are some of my favorites. I haven't gotten too many cards of them yet. I've seen some really cool art from Sun and Moon that I'd love to pick up. And the newer Gimme Ghoul cards from Paradox Rift. And then we've got some Shuppets and a single Bayonet, and Sandygast and Palisand. So I wanted to show this one just because it's really cool. This is from one of like my childhood cards from the e-reader series. It's just very cute. I'm not a huge Shuppet like person, but I like this one. And then I think I've shared this one before, I can't remember, the Sandygast hanging out in the playground. Then we've kind of just got random assortments of ghost Pokemon. So we've got the Galarian Corsola and Cursula, Hisuian Typhlosion, a couple of Sableye cards. I have another that's in my Giratina deck. I picked up this one not too long ago, and I really think this is a very cool art. It's a promo, I believe, from X and Y. Yeah. I haven't seen this art before. He looks so mischievous. But it's very cool, a very different like style than I had seen. I haven't seen a lot of X and Y cards, but that was a cool pickup. And then a couple of Rotom cards down here, including the full art with all the different electronics that he can go into. And I saw a post, there's actually a lot of like random TCG items that are hidden in this art, which is a pretty cool, nice little touch. And then a couple other ghosties, so we've got Bramblin and Bramblegast, and the Aegis Slash line from Paradox Rift. Then we've got Yamask and the Galarian Runerigus. This one was from the Halloween collection, along with the Marshadow and the Spectrier, Ceruledge, and a Frostlass. And then we get into something very different, which is the rest of this binder is kind of just favorites. So we're starting with dog Pokemon after the ghosts. So we've got an entire page dedicated to Yamper. It should be more pages, but sadly they don't make a lot of Yamper cards, which is a shame. So we've got the shiny butt. And then the Pokemon Breeders Nurturing, which has the little Yamper up top there. It's so funny looking. And if you follow me on social media, you've already seen that I did wind up getting my chase card from Paradox Rift, the Joltik, on the Yamper, but it's so cute. They really should make more Yamper cards. I'd love to expand this. It'd be cool to have a Yamper binder, but you know, can only help. And then we go into Growlithe and Arcanine. So there's some cool things here that I've got. This one is from my childhood, which is from the Legendary Collection Growlithe with the like firework hollow pattern. This one is very cool. And I really just like this reverse hollow pattern on this one. It's just like cute little flowers, and they're just adorable little pups. I also have another, at least one Arcanine card in my vintage stuff, which I'll get to later. And then we've got the Hisuian Arcanine as well. Then more doggos. So we've got some fun Houndour cards. I really like this art in particular. Houndoom as well. I recently got these two down here. The little full art Houndour puppies playing. And the Japanese Houndoom card with, I believe, Grimsley is his name, the trainer in the background. So, as you can see, I've already run out of space for most of the doggos. And we go into the Rockruff line. They're all very cute. I love this full art one. Taking a little snooze. And there's obviously lots of fun, like, dynamic art for Lycanroc. And kind of going into foxes and just stuff I like, more dogs. I kind of started running out of room for dogs and just kind of started putting stuff in here. So we've got Ninetales on this side. I've got this gorgeous full art from Obsidian Flames. That's pretty cool. Light Ninetales. And the Legendary Collection Hollow Ninetales. This is one of my favorite cards. I had one from the base set when I was a kid, and it got stolen when I took it to school during recess. That's the whole thing. I've actually had a lot of Pokemon cards stolen at my school. It was kind of a problem there. So unfortunately, a lot of my childhood collection is either gone or marked because we started putting our initials on the back of all of our cards. But I got this Legendary Collection one, and it is so pretty. Healing the inner childhood. Then we've got Shinx line a little bit. There's more cards that I have, but like I said, I started running out of room in this binder. But I love Shinx, it's adorable. So you'll see some more in another binder later. And then we've got the smear goals. I picked up this one not too long ago, the full art, just doing a little painting. It's really fun. And then I've been kind of disappointed that they don't have more Fido and Darkspun cards. I think there's only one other Fido card I'm missing. I don't know why they are not giving us more cards for these cute dogs, because they're the best, but this is one of my favorite cards. Fido looking into the bakery. It's just adorable. Then we get into the bird section. So we're starting here with some gorgeous penguins. I love penguins. A lot of Piplup. I only have one Prinplup and don't have any Empoleons, but I love Piplup the most of the line. We've got this adorable Dawn and Piplup like rainbow card. It's super cute. And then on the other side, we've got a bunch of Ice Cues. I love Ice Cue as well. This one's one of my favorites, just riding on another Ice Cue's head. But this is the best Ice Cue card, where they're going, like, raiding the fridge. So funny. And then we've got our Rowlet to go with our playmat in the background. Rowlet's one of my favorites. I recently got this reverse hollow one, which is very cool. And similar to Piplup, I have the middle evolution one card and none of the final evolution. And then on the other side, I've got a bunch of Rookidee line. So Corviknight's one of my favorites from Sword and Shield. So I have the full art Corviknight Taxi card. As well as this really cute Rookidee one. And more birds. We've got the Fletchling line, the Wingull line. I love Pelipper for some reason. It's just such a funny Pokemon to me, and I've always nicknamed it the Dawn. I don't know where that came from. For some reason, I think Pelipper's like a mafia boss, and the Wingull are like its underlings. I have a blank space here for a Pelipper promo card that I got from Build Your Battle decks. I forget what it's called, but one of the decks was the Pelipper one, and it came with a promo card, but it's in a deck right now. And then a few more random assorted birds. Gotta have our Flamigo. I love Flamigo. And Toucanon, of course. How can you say no to an angry bird in a bunch of flowers? Like, I don't know, it's just adorable. Toucanon's great. And a few more assorted birds as well. I think I pulled the Chatot down here in a previous video. And then moving on to just other random favorites. So I love Ditto, so I've got a whole section for Ditto. There are a lot of Ditto cards though, so this will probably have to get expanded at some point. But I mean, just look at this little guy. Look at him. I do have this one where he's disguised as a little Numel, which is very cute. And I have a Japanese and a regular 151 version, and I think I have a reverse hollow that's in the 151 binder as well. And then on the other side, we've got the Applin line. So we've got Applin, Appleton, and Flapple. Hopefully can add Diplin and Hydrapple here later when they start coming out with cards for them. And of course, we gotta have a Pikachu section. So a lot of Pikachus. I pulled this one from my last video with the Crown Zenith stuff, and that's also where I think where these two came from as well. Got a Japanese one in here. We've got the Celebrations Pikachu, the Fat Pika there, which I love. There are some more Pikachus that are in other binders, but they've got like a designated place over there, so these are just kind of random Pikachus. And then we go into a section, the end of this binder are a few sets from artists that I like. So I really love Yuka Mori's art, all the clay art cards. So I've got some from like my childhood collection. This came with a random order for something I got, and some pulls, some random ones that I've picked up. I just love this art. I looked up how many cards she's done, and she's done a lot. So this is probably gonna eventually move to its own binder, but they are all so pretty. I think like this is one of the first ones I got as a kid, and it kind of got me hooked because it's just so like unique. So I've got a bunch of those and a few more on the next page. I recently got the Toxel. That's the one, if you saw one of my Paradox Rift videos, that has the uncut corners on the top left and bottom left. Kind of hard to see. And then I got this from the holiday calendar. It's a snowflake stamped Snom, the same artist. I have a little bit more space, but then the last page here is another artist that I really like, Asako Ito. So these are all like crochet style. The glare is kind of hitting them, but they're all super cute. I recently got this full art Altaria one, which I had never seen before. So this was a really cute one. Very like whimsical, dreamy vibes. Next up, we've got the 151 Master set that I've been working on. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about these cards just because I've opened a lot of them in my previous videos. But yeah, so it's coming along pretty nicely. I've got a couple of missing spots throughout, especially once we get towards like the end. I actually just ordered this Venusaur EX, so it should be here soon. But it is coming along nicely. I'm not too particular about having one of each, like regular and reverse holo. So if I've got a reverse holo, I'll put it in there, but I'd rather just have one of every card. Fighting the glare a bit again. I will say, I'll go back one page though. This Butterfree was impossible to pull. It is an uncommon, just could not pull it at all. How'd to buy it. Luckily it's not expensive, but it was just like, why? It's an uncommon. I think this is supposed to be a Kangaskhan, if I remember correctly. And missing Flareon. And then we get into the emptier area of the binder. So, haven't seen the Venusaur, the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur at all yet. I've seen a couple Charmeleons, kind of waiting to see if they'll go down a bit, but I'll pick those up eventually. And then I've only got the Japanese Caterpie full art. We opened a couple of Japanese packs, so as I get things in English, I replace them, and I move all the Japanese cards to the back of the binder since there's plenty of space there. I love the Psyduck, I love the Poliwhirl. Almost looks like he's having an existential crisis. And then we're missing a lot of these full art ones. Do have the golds, missing the gold Mew. And then we've got the promos. That was the last of the main set. So then we have the promo cards. This Zapdos is trying to fly out. Get in there. So we've got the starter promos that came with either the poster or the binder. I forget which one. The Zapdos and Alakazam boxes, the ETB, and the UPC. Then we've got pulled a Japanese Charizard, and we've got a handful of Japanese cards as well. Some of these have the Pokeball reverse holo. I think it's those top 3 there do, which is pretty cool. Happy to get a Pokeball treatment on the Psyduck. And more from the Japanese pulls. I think the only thing that hasn't been pulled in English that we had in Japanese was the Caterpie. And then the Machop I already showed earlier because it has the Master Ball treatment. And this, oh yeah, we did get a Japanese Mewtwo that just has the regular Pokeball, not the Master Ball, but it's still very cool. So overall, coming along quite nicely, and we'll be continuing to fill in the gaps as we find those cards. Alright, moving on to vintage stuff. This binder is the emptiest of all of the binders I own, and that's because I am planning on having a master set for base set, fossil, and jungle in here. So I don't have a ton of those cards yet. That's a really long-term goal. So it'll be interesting to see how this binder fills up over time, but you're gonna see a lot of blank pages starting with the first page. But I do have a handful from childhood collection. A lot of those ones aren't in the best condition. A lot of them, like I mentioned before, have been marked with like last initials on the back. So not in the best condition, but I'm more of looking for just a complete set. I'm not super needing them all to be like lightly played. These are a lot older cards too, so it's always fun to see the differences in the art compared to like the newer stuff. All this is very nostalgic. So this is the end of base set, one of my favorite switches. And then we go into jungle. I did get these recently. The Holo Scyther, which is very cool, as well as the Victory Bell. I will say I think I have a lot more jungle and fossil cards than base sets. This card I could actually point out. So at first it just looks like standard Weepin' Bell, and I do not know how or why I have this, but it seems to be in Spanish. I don't know where this came from exactly, but yeah, I just had this in my childhood collection. It's, as you can see, it is not in great condition, but I don't even know where this came from, so it's kind of funny. Yes, I do have a few Japanese cards, but I was getting those out of like those Pokemon card vending machines, and I don't think they had a Spanish booster packs, and I only have that one card, so I don't know where it came from. Got a couple random first editions, like this little Meowth. This is one of my favorite arts. And I did get this hollow Aerodactyl not too long ago. Very cool. So going into Fossil, I've got Gengar and Haunter in here. I don't actually think that I have a Fossil Ghastly. I'm not sure. This is one of my favorite Zubat arts. I don't know what's happening here. There's like a fire in the background, and it's the first edition one, but it's very cool. And I love the Ammonite as well. So after that's the last trainer cards for Fossil. Then I kind of go into, there's this extra space at the end of the binder, so I have some of the Japanese cards over here, as well as some Black Star promos that I've gotten. So I have from the Pikachu from the first movie promo. And I've shown a couple of these on, I think some shorts, some other videos. We've got the Team Rocket's Meowth, the Dark Arbok that was, has the Wizards of the Coast stamp. I don't think you can see it from the glare. It's got the stamp from the Wizards of the Coast one right there. And then we've got the little Togepi, and I love the Psyduck card so much. He's just so confused. And then, like I said, a few Japanese cards that I had gotten out of like those vending machines, and then this is not a card. This is a sticker. As you can see, it's like not the right size for a card, but when I was a kid, I remembered taking this to school and like trying to convince people that it was like a super rare card. And I'm like, no, it's real, it's real. Japanese cards are just different. Which they kind of are, but that one is not an actual card. It's just a fun little part of the collection. And then I have some other random things just kind of add to the end of the binder, I guess. I have a few base set 2 cards, which I'm not looking to have a complete set of that, so they're just kind of, the ones that I have are in here. And then we have some of the little cards, are these the Topps ones? Yeah, this is the Topps Nidorine O and Weedle. And then the top ones are like, I don't know if they came from Burger King. What did these ones come from? This is Mewtwo Strikes Back. Collectible movie card. Oh, it's a Magikarp on the back. Yeah, I was trying to read the like fine print. I have no idea where these ones came from. They're like, this one was clearly ripped out of something. And oh, this one is a Topps one. Interesting. So I have these from my childhood as well. They're really funny. Not in like super great condition because they were just like kept in a box or something, I think. But they're fun to look at. I really like Pikachu's Vacation is one of my favorite things of all time. And you can see it's got a big like fold, I guess, where it got kind of folded, I guess. I don't know. But Pikachu's Vacation is one of my favorites, so this one is a fun little one to have in the collection. But yeah, that is all for the vintage binder. Like I said, not a whole lot in here currently, but that's more of a long-term goal that I will I'll be continuing on throughout my collecting journey. Alright, we are officially down to the last binder, and this is kind of just random. This is a lot of just other cards that I like. There's a lot of bulk stuff in here, and then some random stamped cards and things. So the first page here is for the illustration this Turtwig is a part of. So I got this from Crown Zenith, and there's a whole bunch of, well, there's 9 total cards that make up this full illustration. So I've only got the Turtwig for now, but I wanted to have like a dedicated place to put that. And then it's the same thing on this side. These, this group of cards here, this 9, all go together as well. So they're all by the same artist. And I'm just missing this, I believe, is the Mime Jr. from the Paldean Fates set that's coming out soon. And then this one is a, what is that thing's name? This is a Squavit, I believe, that I think I have, but I have to like go look through stuff. Because I don't really care for Squavit, so I probably just tossed it with bulk. But then I'll have the full little image, so those are 2 fun ones. I really like the connected card images. And then these are stamped cards from the holiday calendar. So we've got the Alolan Vulpix V. And they've all got the little snowflake stamp on them. It came with 8 total, but I have the Snom in a different binder because it's part of like that artist's collection that I all have all together. But yeah, these are from the holiday calendar. And then we kind of just get into random cards. So the first part of this is just like cards that I had from my childhood collection that I'm not looking to have master sets on these, at least not now, anyways. So I just kind of have everything else in here. I'll just flip through. It's always fun to see like how card art has evolved. I love the Dark Omastar, it's such a fun one. And the Slowpoke is always a classic. Then we go into like the e-reader sets. So these are very interesting borders. I really love the Ghastly. I had 2 copies, the other one's in my Ghost binder. Some of these cards have seen better days. These aren't in the greatest condition because they were just kind of tossed into a like random binder box. I think they were in like one of those 3-ring binders. And then we go into some Halloween cards that are not ghost Pokemon. So these are part of the Halloween packs, but not ghosties, so they're just kind of set in a different area. A few cards from the McDonald's, what was that? It was for the 25th anniversary, but I think I may have shown this Magnemite. It's like Wally art is what it makes me think of. And then we just kind of go into cards and art that I like. So most of the rest of this is just bulk. There's a few fun things in here, like the shiny Wooloo and coughing over here, but a lot of it's just art that I like. I just realized that Glare is not a fan of the shiny Pokemon. But a lot of them are just Pokemon I like and art I like. So I try to pull out bulk cards that I like and set them aside just because they're fun to look at, so they don't just always get tossed into bulk. I love this Impidimp card. I said I was just gonna flip through these, but of course, I've got to show some fun things. So this Impidimp is trying to like scare a substitute doll. He's practicing. And then I really like this Wooloo. It's just very pretty. Very simple art, but very effective. So I feel like you could probably get a good idea of other Pokemon that I like from this section, and art that I like as well. I don't actually like Mr. Mime at all, but I felt like I needed to keep this card because I love Legends Arceus so much, and it's set in, like, Jubilife Village, so I felt like I needed to keep it, but I actually don't like Mr. Mime, so. And then we've got a few of the Radiant cards down here, and a few random reverse hollows thrown throughout as well. Then Rolling Lulu. I won't say too much about a lot of these because I think a lot of them I've probably talked about during other videos. I really like this Magikarp card, it's very fun. Got some Sprigatitos, and here we're kind of getting into Scarlet Violet and Paldea Evolved and Obsidian Flames. I try to organize this section by set, and then set order. That works when you're putting it all together, but eventually this will grow beyond what can fit in here. It'll probably just need to keep being reorganized. But lots of fun stuff. I really like a lot of cards from Paldea Evolved. Might be a little biased because that was the set that got me back into Pokemon collecting. We love Paldean Wooper. More Wingles and Pelipper's. And then at the end here, this was like the last page of the binder, so I didn't have room to put a lot of Obsidian Flame stuff, so I have a few things that I had pulled out that are just cards I like. Smoliv is probably my favorite. And then on the last page is just a couple from Paradox Rift that I like as well. But yeah, this binder's already pretty much filled up, so I'll definitely have to get a few more binders to keep things nice and organized and keep them from just being all bulk. So that is where my collection stands at the end of 2023. Thank you all so much for watching. I know this was a long video, and I will catch y'all in the next one.